tomato seedling day for all who celebrate, aka me, and maybe some other people. We are doing tomato seedlings today, and I'm so excited. We have two 200 cell seedling trays, and I don't think I have 400 seeds. We do have 10 different varieties that we are gonna start, at least right now. We might get some more, but we've got 10 different varieties, and so we're gonna plant all of these seeds and see how many we get. All right, so we are going to, I still have some seedling mix from some of my other starts, so I am going to use what I've got and add some more and get our seedling mix nice and wet, because it's really hard to navigate dry seedling mix and make sure that it gets wet enough for the seedlings and for the seeds to go in. So we want to do this kind of mixing beforehand. I really didn't know when I was starting off, like, I'm pretty sure the first time I did tomato seedlings, I was like in my kitchen and using like a mixing bowl. But I just grab a Home Depot 5-gallon, 10-gallon, I don't know how many gallons this is, pail, and mix the seedlings starter in there. I find it to be really helpful because it's kind of there and I can mix it in a way that's not that messy and outside. And so this has been a really helpful thing for me and might be for you too. I am just gonna pour a bunch of water in here because the seedling mix is really light, and it can take on a good amount of water, especially to begin with. You don't want it soaking wet, but you do want the seedling mix to be nice and damp, especially because you just need it to be. I don't know what I'm doing. You just need it to be nice and damp so that the seed has access to water and the nutrients it needs to grow into a nice, healthy little tomato plant. So, I think I need a little more water. And if you can't tell, I just, I fill up another bucket of water in here and just keep that there so that when I need the extra water, it's already filled. And it lasts me, at least a few days of watering stuff. All right. Starting to get warm. It's a beautiful 70 degrees in the greenhouse, and it's so nice. It's about 65 outside. I actually had to open the door and this little window that my father-in-law built so that we could get some air and so it didn't get too hot in here, because this greenhouse is doing what it's supposed to do. All right, here we go. I've actually never worked with 200 cell trays before. I've had them, but I've never worked with them before because I was always doing kind of smaller plantings, but this is very exciting. I'm literally just gonna kind of toss them over. Thankfully, we don't need that much right now. We are gonna need lots of potting soil when it comes to repotting these guys and sizing up. But for now, we thankfully don't need that much soil, which is nice economically. I think I mentioned this last week, but I'm just using Jiffy. There's so many kinds. You can even make your own seedling mix, but I am for now just doing what's easiest, which is getting pre-mixed seedling soil. And the difference, I really didn't know. I didn't understand the difference before, but really seedling soil, it's just lighter. It's easier for seedlings to take root, and to grow in. It's free of like debris and rocks sometimes that you'll get, except this mix is having some sticks, which isn't the best. But, you know, with potting soil or in-ground stuff, you know, it's got compost, it's got just lots of other stuff in it that makes it difficult for a baby plant to root. So that's part of the reason why. I'm sure there's other reasons that I just don't know about yet. All right, so we're getting close. Might have to personally hand fill some of these cells because it's hard. Tomato seeds are also pretty small, so I gotta check the packets, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be about 1/4 inch deep that we're gonna be putting in. So I'm not putting it on the surface, which there are some seeds where you literally just lay it on the surface. That's not the case with tomato seedlings. They do need to be covered a bit to be able to germinate, but not by much. We don't want it to go down too far. I'm just banging this cell tray to make sure that there's no air pockets where a seedling could disappear into the abyss. All right. I feel like we're almost there. It's easy to do the middle ones, but the ends looks like are having some on the sides. Just needed a little extra help getting full. And I'm gonna do both trays because at one time, because I don't want to have to refill. It will be fascinating to see, though, how many seeds we end up getting planted. I remember when I planted like, I don't know, 30 or 40, and I was overwhelmed with good reason. But this is definitely a whole different undertaking. I feel like having a little bit of crazy actually does well with gardening, because you gotta be willing to do wild things. It's the only way you learn. I don't like playing it safe in gardening. It's boring that way. Whoops. All right. I don't know how much of this you can see. Not much, I'm assuming. Also, I apologize if this is super boring for the non-gardeners out there. But this is actually how I learned how to, do all of this. Definitely seedlings, but I just would watch these gardening videos online for hours sometimes. And everyone's got their own methods and tips and tricks and stuff, but really just watching these videos was really helpful for me to just kind of take in some garden knowledge. So I hope it's helpful for somebody out there. And if not, it's probably just my friends who already have to listen to me talk anyways. So, okay. I think we've got these 2 trays ready to go. Look at that. It's looking good. So one thing to note, something that I didn't know when I was starting tomato seedlings, is we've got a mix mostly of indeterminate tomatoes. And all that means is indeterminate tomatoes are tomato plants that grow and grow and grow. And if you let it go wild, it'll keep going in your garden. It hits the ground. I've had a tomato plant hit the ground. It just finds new places to, get into your garden. It just keeps going. That's indeterminate tomatoes, which is what most people, I think a lot of our tomatoes are normally indeterminate. But determinate are the kinds that you think about when you're planting like on a porch or on a balcony. Determinate are like bush tomatoes. So it grows only to a certain extent and then it stops growing. So it's important to know that for a couple of different reasons. The biggest is really you're going to end up trimming and cleaning up these tomato trees a little differently. With indeterminate tomatoes, you can be kind of ruthless to get some airflow in there and like cut down a bunch of branches. But with determinate, you just want to be more careful because it's only got a certain amount of branches that it's going to select. So I'm actually getting kind of hot, so I'm going to take my sweatshirt off. And then we are going to get these seeds in. Here we go. All right, so I finally finished. It took a while, which I've never done this many seeds before, so of course it would take a while. I just counted, we have 316 tomato seedlings planted. I'm gonna start closing these up as we talk, but I'm not quite sure, with Johnny seeds, they've been really good in the past, and I don't know if I've ever had a seedling not germinate. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait for these to germinate. There's gonna be 2 little leaves that pop up first that are not really part of the actual tomato plant. They're just the ones that pop up first to get the energy to the plant. Eventually they fall off and then the true leaves come on. And once we get some 2 true leaves on these plants, on the tomato plants, we are going to repot them, pot them up. I'm probably gonna have my father-in-law help me because I am having a hard time conceptualizing over 300 tomato plants. That sounds wild to me, but I'm very excited. 10 different varieties. We're gonna do, we're gonna save as much as we can for the garden, but we're also gonna sell them for friends and families and neighbors and people who have reached out asking, which will help us continue to buy more plants and seeds, and honestly it'll just all go back into the garden and help cover the costs of all of these materials. But it's very exciting. So if you are interested in buying some tomato seedlings from us, let me know because I will definitely save you some. This year we've got one of my favorites. One of the first ones I ever kind of fell in love with the tomato plants is Lemon Boy. I think they call it Lemon Boy Plus now because they kind of modified it so that it would be more disease resistant. But Lemon Boy, which are these like beautiful yellow tomatoes. And then we've also got the Abigail, which is our first year doing that. I'm very excited. It's a pink heirloom tomato. We're doing the Cherokee, the Cherokee, which is a purple. I just put karaoke and Cherokee together. The Cherokee tomato, it's a purple heirloom. We've also got a couple determinant that we're doing. Lots of cherry tomatoes. So the Super Sweet 100, also one that I planted my first year of tomato seedlings and loved. They're just like traditional little cherry tomatoes, red tomatoes, and they're delicious. I'm pretty sure we also got maybe an orange and yellow and purple cherry tomatoes, so those will be fun. Let's see, what else do we have? We got I'm blanking on the name right now, but we got some tomatoes to make some sauce. Not San Marzano, but something else. But yeah, so we've got a lot of we're gonna have a lot of tomatoes this year, and it's very exciting. And I kind of, like I said before, like the best part of starting your own seeds and seedlings is you get to try varieties that you can't find really. I mean, maybe at a local nursery, but there's so many. There's limited in what they sell. So like I don't know if I've ever really seen like yellow and orange and purple cherry tomatoes, and sometimes places will have Cherokee or other colors, but it's really fun to be able to like do your own, and so it'll be very exciting. I will say the first time I started tomato seedlings, I was never really worried about dropping a seed because I was only doing a few plants, and each of these packets came with like maybe 15 to 40 seeds. So I'm actually gonna throw some starter on top of some of these. And these I wanted to use all of them. So I was a little more cautious as I was, doing my seed dropped, and ended up using one of these plant tags to like help carry the seedling the seed into the hole. But yeah, I hope this inspires somebody who's maybe never really started seedlings before to start it. It's not too late. You could literally go on Amazon tonight and get everything you needed, and it would be there. I mean, maybe not the best example. Amazon isn't always great, but if you're like interested in doing it, this is something you could go to Target. I was just in Target today with Liam. You could go to Target next weekend and pick up some seedling starter soil and some seeds, and they had the burpee trays, which are amazing trays that are really durable and stuff. But so it's not too late if you want to do tomatoes on your own tomatoes, or start other seeds. It's definitely not too late, and I hope you do, because it brings me so much joy, and I think it's really fun to do this, and I think it would be fun if you did it too. So let me know if you do, because I would love to talk to you about all these things. Okay. All right. Well, I need to get my hands cleaned and get these inside. So I will see you in a minute. All right. I can't believe it, but we used up all of our seed packets, all of our tomato seed packets. So I threw those out and have all of my tags ready to go. And I'm going to bring all 316 tomato plants back inside. Okay, so the tomato seeds have made it inside. I've got them under grow lights, and you can see I'm also have heating pads that I need to get my father-in-law to help me get all connected up to our system. But we've got 2 trays of over 300 tomato seedlings, and then I ended up doing some arugula seeds here to just fill up. I had them ready to go, and I'm like, why not? Let's add some other things in. Arugula does okay in 200 cell seedling starters, but we've got them in the grow lights. We're gonna have the heat on them. I did make a little bit of a mess as I was getting it, but they'll be under grow lights for about like 6 weeks or so before we take them out to the garden to harden off, which is really just the process of getting the seedlings used to the elements outside. So obviously a lot will happen before then. Once they germinate and become like these guys, these are our peppers. Once they're at this stage, we will take them off the heat mat because they really only need them to germinate. And then they will, once they've gotten their 2 true leaves, I don't know if I've got any examples to show you, but you can sorry I got cut off, but you can see here, these are the first two, they're not the real leaves. These are not what the leaves of this cabbage will look like. This is the first true leaf. This guy, you can kind of see there, the one that's popping out. But these first two are really important because they bring the energy into the plant. You can kind of see in this one, you can see that's the first in the middle. That's the first true leaf. So once, you know, we're almost there with our cabbage, which you can see here. These we're going to pot up soon because they need more space. Like you can kind of see under here, the roots are already kind of coming through. So that's a sign that we want to get them into bigger pots so that they can continue to grow and not become problematic. But, you know, once they're in this phase, you know, if there was an extra seed that fell in, like we're going to have to cut one of these peppers out, those seedlings out, just because we only need one in each cell. So they're not competing for resources and nutrition and things like that. So, but these guys are in, they're under timed lights. So they'll get like 16 to 18 hours of light a day and then it'll turn off. I have to be careful not to overwater them or underwater them, but I feel like I tend to overwater rather than underwater. And we'll get some good air on them, and then they should be ready to go out in maybe 6 weeks or so. And then we'll have a lot of tomatoes. But I'll bring you along for the process and it'll be fun. Thanks for watching my very first YouTube video. I have to say, when I started this today, I wasn't expecting to make a YouTube video out of it, but it was fun and I hope you learned something new, and I guess I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.